Okay, so this is question 6, 2016, paper 1, and it's obviously a tax, currency question, whatever. So again, I'd say, look, with these kind of questions, there's only so much I can do in going through the question. The doing of it yourself and the understanding of the concepts behind it are very important. I can help with the concepts behind it, but just the actual practice of doing them and the struggling through is where the learning comes. So I really strongly suggest you pause this, give it as good a go as you possibly can. If you're anyway stuck, look at the answer and look and watch the video, and hopefully we can get through it. Okay. I like these kind of questions, but because I'm familiar with them. But let's get stuck in. So Fiona earns a gross wage of 1,550 every fortnight. Lucky girl. Okay, that's important. She pays income tax. Okay, only two things in life: debt and taxes, as they say. She pays her USC, which is an extra tax, uh, and her PSI, which is another tax. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Now the 1550, I'd write that down here just to have it in front of you. Okay, any multiplications of that number, or any calculations of that number is probably going to get you the attempt, like the low partial. So every fortnight, if you want to pay his income tax at a rate of 20% on the first 1,300 of her salary, and the higher rate of tax 40% on the difference. Okay, so that's giving you some things you can calculate there pretty handily, even just taking 1,300 from 1550. So do that just to break the back of the question. Okay, that gives you what, 250 to 250 euro. Okay, so she's paying tax at 20% on 1,300, so that's at 20%. She's paying at 40% on the remainder. Now it's supposed to be an at sign. That's at 40%. Okay. So the question there is, she has tax credits of 126 per fortnight. How much income tax does she pay per fortnight? So the way it works in Ireland is you owe a certain amount of tax. You have tax credits. The difference between them is the tax you actually owe. Okay. It's worth, if you don't have a part-time job and don't get a pay slip, maybe ask your folks, or some of you know who does. Can you see their pay slip and try and make sense of it? Give an indication of what's going on. Might give you an appreciation of how bloody hard it is to earn money and how a lot of us gets taken off you. But we won't go down that road. So if I do those calculations, I'm going to go to the answer I've built in. Okay, so that's it here. Tax at 20% plus tax at 40%. Take away her tax credits equals the tax she owes. So I have a pile of calculations to go there. We said the 1,300 she earns at 20%. That gives me 260. Now what I've done there is I've used the calculator. Okay, I'm using 1,300 multiplied by 20 over 100. Now that's the same thing, 20 over 100, as 0.2. So the reality on the calculator, I'm actually typing in 1,300 multiplied by 0.2 gives me directly to the answer of 260. So that's an important figure. Save that. She now pays 40% on the difference. That was, we already calculated, was the 250. So 250 by 40% is the same thing as 40 over 100, the fraction, which is the same thing as 0.4. So in the calculator, I've done a 250 by 0.4 equals 100. Now we're checking that calculation in your calculator to see what I'm doing. It's just a fast way of dealing with percentages. Okay. Now her total tax then is the 260 plus the 160, which gives you the 360. So that's what she actually owes, but she's given a tax credit, okay, based on whatever her circumstances are, and that's, you're told, is 126. So it's 360. Take away the 126 she's given, for free. That gives you 234 left over as the tax the government actually takes. Okay. Part A. Now, okay. Part B again, I'd say read this question very carefully, because a lot of words like this can get very confusing. Okay, but the USC, the Universal Social Charge, is charged at different rates. Okay, and the more you earn, the more you pay. So you pay at 1% on the first 462 you're told here, 3% on the next 214, and 5.5% on what's left. Okay, so you need to work out, say there are three things: the USC at 1%, the USC at 3%, and the USC at 5%. Okay, now the first two are handy, so I'm going to go straight to the answer. So the USC at 1%, your total is 462, so you're getting 1% of 462, which is the same thing as multiplying 462 by 0.01. So remember, it's 1 over 100, which is the same thing as 0.01. And I get 4.62, not much. At 3% on 214, you're told that in the question. So 214 by 0.03, again, that's 3 over 100, which is the same thing as 0.03, and I get 642. Okay, you're talking the bones of a 10 or 11. Now, the remainder of her salary, so 462 and 214, take them from 1550, her total salary, and you get 874. So I've done that down here. That's charged at 5.5%, where the whack will come out. So it's 874 by 0.055. So it's 5.5 over 100, which is 0.055, and I get 48 odd. So her total USC she owes every fortnight is 462, 642 plus 4807. So I've represented that over here. And calculator, whatever, gives you a total of 5911. Okay, so that's that. When you break it down, it's not too bad, but it's just a matter of breaking it down and understanding what's going on and being careful with your percentages. Last thing here now, part C, part 1. Fiona pays PRSI, so pay-related social insurance, amounting to €18 each fortnight. Okay, find the sum of her fortnightly deductions, so everything she pays out. So it'll be her income tax, her USC, and her PRSI. So it goes straight to the answer. It's not that bad. You have the answers all built in. So 18 was the 1 year, the PRSI. The income tax was 234. You did in part A, I believe. Part B then was the USC. Total them up, you get 311.11. Okay, so make sure you put the euro symbol in. Now, I said here in the exam tip, even if you've gotten the income tax wrong and the USC wrong, the answers you declared in those parts will be accepted as correct in this part. So let's say you're having a bad day and you just couldn't, for the life of you, figure out the income tax or the USC. Just make up an answer. Okay, make a simple number, 20 and 20. They'll be accepted as fully correct from part A and B, and you'll get full marks for part C, part 1. Okay, so it happens. It's a good big thing that they allow that. Okay, you shouldn't be penalised because you couldn't do a previous part. So even again, if you couldn't do them, just make up a nice easy number. Use that as your answer when required. Okay, so C part 2 then. Write the sum of her fortnightly deductions as a percentage of her gross wage. Okay, give your answer correct one decimal place. So as soon as you see percentage, by getting percentage of something, you're most likely going to get the sum marks, the no partial. Okay, write the sum, so it means add all her fortnightly deductions together, get a percentage of her gross wage. Okay, so you have two choices here. Now, I've got the correct answer here. You could do the gross, no, not weight, gross wage. Okay, apologies for my typo. The gross wage over deductions by 100 over 1, or deductions over gross wage by 100 over 1. So you have two choices here. If you do the gross wage on top, you're going to end up with a number above 100%. Okay. So in this case, the total deductions was 311.11. Again, they'd accept that answer for whatever you got from part 1. Divide that by the total wage you're given in the first part. That's now a fraction where the denominator is bigger, so it's going to be less than 100% when you multiply it out. Always to get a percentage multiplied by 100. Now, I put in 100 over 1 because students, just generally how they learn it, but multiplied by 100 is the exact same thing. Put it in the calculator, you end up with 20.1, and that's a percentage. And that's that. Okay, so the next question 7 was a different screencast. I haven't put in the mark scheme for this. Okay, I just didn't, I suppose, bother screen printing it. But it's not really all that necessary. Again, with PRSI questions, it's worth doing a few examples from your textbook, just making sure you're getting them right. The biggest tip I can give you is make sure to read the question, be it twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, whatever you need. The times I make a mistake in these kind of questions is when I don't read the question properly, which is a constant flaw of my own particular maths ability. I think I know what they're asking. Go ahead, do a lovely sum, realize later, and it's in my own history, I've done it when I realize after the exam, which is a great time to realize something. Oh my God, I've done it wrong. I've answered the wrong thing. Okay, so be very, very careful. Read the question and check back at the end of the exam and kind of reread through the question to make sure you have answered what they've asked and everything that they've asked. Okay, so thanks very much. This is the screencast for question 6, 2016.